Recently, in various resources on various websites that write about war, weapons, and all sorts of such specialized publications, they have written a lot about Israel signing a contract with Finland and Estonia to supply Blue Spear or Gabriel 5 anti-ship missiles, as it's also called, a rather fearsome weapon, considered one of the most advanced in the world. These are anti-ship missiles according to various sources. On this occasion in Russia, the media even had a meltdown there about an unfriendly act on Israel's part. My friends supplying Iran with airplanes, helicopters, gunships. Is this a friendly act or not? They're not saying that. They say it's a free market. So if we supply Finland with anti-ship missiles, it's an unfriendly act, alas, but it's a two-way street, a free market. We sell to whoever we want concerning what kind of missiles they are, why they're dangerous there for the same Russians, for example, for what? If they're going to use the Baltic countries or the Finns, I'm about to tell you. Greetings, everyone. My name is Auslender. This video is very simple to support. Like, subscribe, comment. If you don't like it, leave a dislike. The main thing is to react to these videos. Leave comments. Hey, definitely subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications. You can also support financially. Donate there via the Boosty platform or Patreon platform through the Super Thanks button. Super Thanks or heart with $1, and you can become a sponsor. The YouTube channel, all of this is crucial. All of this is necessary. All of this contributes to the channel's stability, and a massive thank you to everyone who does this. It should be noted that Israel was one of the pioneers in the development of anti-ship missiles. From the time this type of weapon appeared, yes, Israel was the third country who developed its own anti-ship missile. The first were, respectively, a Soviet termite and a Swedish robot called That's It. The robot, yes, Israel developed the Gabriel missile, very successfully used it, resulting in quite an impressive use of these missiles during the naval war. And there, in the initial stage of the war on land, the Israeli army was not faring well, but then the Israeli naval forces demonstrated absolutely dazzling successes, dealing a heavy blow to the Arab fleet, to the Syrian and Egyptian ones. There was the famous battle near Latakia and so on. Many ships were sunk without suffering any loss. So Israel took note of this, and since then this line of Gabriel missiles has been continuously developed from the Gabriel 1 developed in the 1960s, respectively. Then there was the Gabriel 2, 3, 4, where its range, power, and guidance accuracy were constantly changing, and that was the crowning glory, the Gabriel 5 rocket, which is being developed by Israeli airspace industries. That is, the Israeli aerospace industry would become this line. The missile is designed to be launched from ships or from land-based launchers or from, apparently, there are different modifications of it. Well, in Israel, it is used mainly for launching from ships. These SA-6 corvettes, in particular, these that were built at American shipyards of the Israeli Navy, they can carry such missiles. Its length is 5.5 meters, the mass of which is 1,200 kilograms, and a flight range of 200 kilometers. This is according to open sources. Part of the characteristics of this, the missiles are still classified. Its guidance system is very, how should I put it, complicated. Yes, that's the crowning glory of development here. This Gabriel missile line has GPS, an inertial guidance system, its own active homing head, and algorithms that allow it to operate with great complexity. It develops a high yet subsonic speed with complex work algorithms. It is similar in size to a Harpoon missile and outperforms it in many ways, according to the developers. The missile has some considerable advantages, as the developers claim. It solves the selectivity problem in busy coastal waters, meaning it can select targets when launched from the coast or a ship in the coastal area. It can distinguish targets like warships from non-military cargo or fishing vessels. The built-in algorithms and specific knowledge allows it to select and engage targets. It can independently choose and engage targets. Besides, the missile can quickly adapt to changing tactical situations. It can handle interference, such as dipole reflectors, decoy targets, or active radar jamming. A dipole reflector is a kind of foil that's fired from special installations and forms a radar silhouette that resembles a ship. If you've ever seen military exercises where ships practice shooting, you likely saw the smoke clouds produced by dipole reflectors. The missile also works in soft kill and hard kill defense modes. Hard kill defense is an active countermeasure against ship-based or coastal air defenses. Now, talking about the Gabriel missile, it's capable of hitting ground targets as well. There's a current trend towards the universalization of weapons, meaning that they can be used against any target. Gabriel 5 is one of those weapons that can hit ground targets, among other types. Yes, the Israeli aerospace industry, this one developed this rocket together with Singapore Technologies Engineering Ltd. They created such a joint venture, and 50% belongs to each side. Singapore, among other things, will be engaged in part of the financing of the project, in part promoting it as if in foreign markets, precisely within the framework of this joint project. And this name, Blue Spare, was conceived, and one of the first, so to speak, customers of this rocket, besides the Israeli naval forces, will be Finland and Estonia. Yes, countries. The Baltic countries have long been concerned about their coastal defense problem, considering the aggressive aspirations of the Russian Federation, the presence of Kaliningrad there, yes, with its naval bases, and St. Petersburg with its naval bases. And the Finns are also concerned about this, because the Finns are now actively buying Israeli weapons, including air defense systems. Here are these anti-ship systems. If you look at the map where Estonia is located, where Finland is located, where St. Petersburg is located, then if there are a large number of such missiles, which, by the way, they write about in Russian resources, Estonians and Finns can block the entrance to the Gulf of Finland. That is, not a single ship there can pass by them. The range of the Gabriel 5 or Blue Spare missile allows you to hit any ship that runs through the Gulf of Finland. All of it is part of NATO's strategy to transform the Baltic Sea into NATO's inland sea. Yes, the only thing is that Kaliningrad is located there. But if such missiles are present, say, at the Latvians or Lithuanians, then the issue with Kaliningrad also becomes very serious for the Russians. So the Russians actually are saying, if Estonia is supplied with more than 2 or 3 divisions of these missiles, says one of the Russian experts, then Russia will have to take special measures to neutralize these threats. I don't know what they have in mind. Under special measures, yes, they are constantly threatening the Baltic countries there, either with an attack or with some kind of preventive measures strikes and so on. But the Russian Baltic fleet is pretty weak militarily. Yes, it was never strong, by the way. Yes, it was so secondary to the most powerful fleets. Under the Soviet Union, there were Pacific and Northern, respectively. The Black Sea and Baltic were smaller because they were located here in the narrowness of these inland seas. But now it seems to be even more weakened, especially part. Then it was transferred from there in connection with the beginning of the invasion of Ukraine on the Black Sea. But in any case, both Estonians and Finns get such a rather strong tool to counter the Baltic. It is clear that neither the Estonians nor the Finns are taking with Russia. All this is being done as part of strengthening NATO's northeastern borders. Yes, for perhaps to repel possible Russian aggression, with NATO's eastward expansion, I would like to remind you that NATO has expanded to Finland as a whole and now to Sweden, and it is clear that these countries now need to strengthen their defense capabilities. The supply of missiles to Estonia is set to start in 2026, according to open sources. So generally, not much time is left, and the company has now begun production. The company is producing these missiles launches, etc., and the contract's amount and the number of systems, these are still classified. But there's an Israeli portal called Globes, which studies various aspects, including war economics, wrote that the initial cost regarding military affairs, the Finns have a clear intention to acquire Israeli systems. Here's an example. Elbit, a company you are familiar with and I've discussed many times. One Elbit won the bid to supply communication systems for the Finnish army. Not just simple communication systems. They are supplying more than radios and telephone lines. The Elbit company solved a seemingly impossible task. Elbit has integrated new digital systems into the Finnish army's analog systems, which was a condition set by the Finns. No one offered a satisfactory solution except for Elbit already. A contract worth tens of millions of dollars has been signed there, and supply will start soon. Generally, the last one occurred following the invasion of Ukraine, when the export of weapons worldwide from countries such as Israel began to surge. Israel entered the top 10 global arms exporters. There has been a fierce interest in air defense systems, thanks to the Houthis that allowed us to effectively advertise them. The first interception occurred in the stratosphere over the city of Eilat. Yes, over the Red Sea. The Heads 3 system intercepted a ballistic missile there under combat conditions and various other. Moreover, a lot of anti-ship missiles have been purchased. In this regard, Israel's exports have been growing, having reached a record $12 billion a year. However, it is strange that while we are selling high-tech weapons around the world, we are not able to sustain ourselves with ammunition. That is, we have advanced anti-ship missiles, but there's a catastrophic shortage of 155 calibers. Therefore, Israel has also noted this and understood that high-tech weapons are all right, but let's not forget about the good old sledgehammer. They're currently setting up production lines for the manufacture of 15,155 caliber shells, which are becoming such a real deficit in the world. Yes, in general, they say it's about reducing dependence on the Americans in general, basically relying on their own strength, as they like to say in China during the time of Mao Zedong, if I'm not mistaken. So Blue Spare rockets are going to the Baltic coast. They will help the Estonians and help the Finns protect their coast in case of some sort of conflict, but there's no point in talking about it here. The conflict can only happen with the Russian Federation, more with nobody else. There are no other enemies there, neither for the Baltic countries nor for the Finns, not potential nor real. And let's see in general how this whole matter will unfold. But again, I say the interest in Israeli weapons is now incredibly high. The problem is not whether we can or cannot to cause problems in conventional weapons that for many decades, neither in Europe nor in the United States, nor in Russia, by the way, none gave special attention. It all comes from this concept of a small, smart army that, after the invasion of Ukraine began, as it turned out, failed tragically. Thank you for watching my videos. Please remember to support them, like, subscribe, comment, and we will continue to communicate and discuss events, examples of various weapons, events from different wars, our war with plans for war in Ukraine, and so on. Thanks again. Goodbye, everyone.